Okay. Go like that. Go like that. Okay. Let's play this fun game. It's so addicting.
トレーナーさんこれから夕飯それとも私と同じ夜食組ご商売に預からせてよ
I am a non-spender. I have not spent on this game yet. Not even once. Because I don't have any money to spend. Otherwise I would have. Definitely a whale in a former life. Really like their compulsion loop. It's excellent. And they do seem to be pretty... they're not very stingy. It's like a well-supported live support game and live service game. And they've been at it for some time in Japan, so this is like the global release, of course. And this one was Mobile Game of the Year, I guess. So, by some accounts. No surprise. It's got such a good set of kind of overlapping compulsion loops. Ooh. I'm going to lose every single one. Almost. My all-time high is like 460, I think. It's very, very, very tied to your team's talent level. Okay, let's see here. Right, I'm just going to jump into career, resume where I was. When the game first came out, they didn't explain to you what your decisions would result in, so you had to kind of memorize them or make good guesses, and they've since remedied that. I'm sure that's all part of the service schedule that they've gradually deployed in Japan, that they're now basically just following the exact same playbook on for the global release. No doubt. But it's so much more interesting now when I know what the benefit is of answering one way or the other. See over here on the right side, you've got choices. Oh wait, can you see that? I wonder if you can see that. Kind of. Yeah. Okay. This has been like my little morning ritual here. I'm in southern Vietnam. Just play this for a few minutes and then hop off and play again the next day and hope for either some make-good reward that I don't care anything about other than that it gets me something for free, or some incentive to stay engaged and keep playing, which they do it, I don't know, a couple times a week. Some nice big chunky opportunity for a good gacha outcome. with the premium currency that they'll shower the gamer with. So I like the risk reward that's kind of packed into almost everything you do. Even when you choose the safe road, you're kind of taking a risk because you're missing out on potential big gains. So it's like I said, it's had a really rich set of reinforcements, overlapping, fixed ratio, variable interval, all of the things. Good, sticky stuff. And every time I get into one of these, I play them for a while until I get lucky and somehow I fall away, like go on a vacation or something. Because they do become a job at a certain point, and what's the value in having a second job? I mean, if there's nothing really behind it, it goes from being fun to being kind of compulsory and compulsive. So 4% chance of failure. Take those chances any day when there are a few trainers who can get skilled up in the process. Okay. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 3. So they recently added something called the Unity Cup. And what's fun about that is it gives you a rich set of interactions with bonus points that you can get above the base set that you can get. So sometimes you'll see a choice that is favoring the Unity, and other times for like the base stats that you're going for. And it's fun when they overlap. Like it's particularly interesting when you're just getting slammed on both sides with the benefit at the same time. It feels really good. So here's a failure chance of 22%, but I only have one thing that'll improve to get to the point of being maxed. So, and then just one Unity Cup person. So it's really not worth it. So actually I'll just back out and see what's going on for races. Oh, yeah. I need to try and get some points. So, I mean, some fans. Those kinds of points. When you play this, the goal is to try and improve your horse girl to the point where everything that you do with her later is a little bit better. So that's kind of like the long-term aspiration. Every time you play, you kind of hope for a good result. It's really painful if you play for like 20 minutes straight and you have like 2 or 3 ridiculously unlikely failures in your stamina, and then basically your character is a throwaway character. It's like very disappointing. You know, like that particular career that you ran was just a waste. Those are the most painful. That's when I turn it off. I shut it down. I give up as soon as I get a couple of failures in a row. This is kind of a rich decision that you can make. So they don't say what the percentage chances are. I don't know if it's just strictly 2 choices, therefore 50-50. It seems like I get -20 more than I get -5. So I think under the hood there for this decision point, it's not a 50-50 branch. I think it favors the bigger energy ding. But when you look at the base energy ding of -15, like, why would you just do it? Because the upside is there. It's better, even if the odds aren't really in the favor of that. So let's just give it a shot. Yeah, that happens more often than not. I mean, there's this idea that humans weigh negative outcomes over positive outcomes by like a factor of 3 or 4. Factor might not be the right word, but by a lot. So when you have something positive that happens, you know, that's got a value of 1. And if something negative happens, it's got a value of -3. So I don't know. I have to try to bear that in mind and think about what it is really probably happening, which is 50-50. It's probably just 50-50. It just doesn't feel like it because of that negativity bias that humans have. We all have that. Okay. What does she tend to do? So she's a late in the pace, and she's a sprinter. Okay, so she probably does mile runs and sprints, so I should focus on... You know what, I'm just going to go with that. I think I've read somewhere in some Japanese documentation that was translated that the second order unlocked skills that you can put points into are your strongest bang for the buck. And so even if you get a series of those level 1 skills, it's still way better having a level 2 skill. So I don't know what the ratio there would be, but yeah. And then I tend to veer into those slightly better ones versus a better value that doesn't lead anywhere past itself. If that makes any sense, it probably doesn't unless you play the game. Okay. 4th place sucks. And that energy is not great. But I did place in the top 5. Okay. I need some sleep. Big time. After this. Okay, so this is the feature that they added somewhat more recently. It adds a really kind of compelling overlapping reinforcement with the base experience. So you don't have to add it on as a layer, but you probably should. Now, one thing I've found is that, okay, so X's mean you're screwed. You don't have a very good chance at all. Zeros, bullseyes are excellent. This would look like I probably couldn't win it. I probably can. Something distorted about reality with these, I think. Like that. This will be an overwhelming, just I'll terrorize. But then what you'll see is actually I'll probably have a loss or two. And like, what the hell is going on? And like, look at that. A loss and 2 draws, even though on paper it looked like I was going to smoke the entire field. So weird. Versus if I just picked that first one, the outcome probably would have been mostly wins. I don't understand what's going on there, but to me that's a very clear bias over having, I mean, in the medium run, over, you know, having played it 20 or 30 different days. It starts to look pretty much like what it's displaying for chances are not lining up with reality, but I better get some energy. I have none. Just have to rest. There's no choice. I mean, I could have checked to see if there was a race to run instead, but low-hanging fruit. Got to do it. Ooh, Professor of Curvature. Tops. That's a top 2nd layer skill to get. Nothing really there. And let's see. So as you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. None of these have these little icons here. See those icons in the upper corner? None of these have those. These are in the Unity Cup flow. So if I get them topped up, then I end up getting these. Oh, you probably can't see what I'm highlighting. Oh, no. I chose with the way that I'm streaming not to show my cursor. Note to self, show cursor next time. Or does it? Because there's an in-game cursor. I'm really curious. I'm trying to watch back what I'm doing. I can't tell. Anyway, not important. Oh, look at this. My. So, 2 max friend opportunities. Got to do it. I must have right-clicked somehow. That's bizarre. Okay. Yeah. Looking at the stats that are above that that row that you see, they're plus, plus, plus. I'm just trying to determine what is the best choice here. They look okay, but I wonder if there's something I can do here. Has more benefit. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I wait until too long to get fans, and fans end up putting a little multiplier, I think, onto the final rating and value of your horse girl at the end when all is said and done. So you have to put some focus into actually racing. The game is about racing, not just training to race. Go figure. But the temptation to just train your guts out so that you have a horse girl who's better in a future career is very strong. And this way, there's this really long distance goal for every character that you have, especially the ones that you like, to kind of power them up for the future. And you don't worry as much about how they're doing now. You more want to get them just a little bit incrementally improved so that you can have a much stronger race in the future. Okay, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Only a fool wouldn't pick this one. So I'll pick that one. So the Unity Cup has this grading system independent from your character trying to achieve a final good grade, which it's not reflected as a grade along the way for the character, the horse girl that you're using. But the Unity Cup has a grading system that gives you that grade feedback moment to moment, which is kind of interesting how they've approached that. I think the weight of change over time ends up creating a lot of friction for new users who come in and play the game. I suspect that the Unity Cup is just kind of confusing to new users. What is this? But for a user who has been there connected to the product for some time, then it actually seems like a great addition. It's like a great layer. Creates it creates something new where it was formerly stale, and kind of a rich interaction that wasn't there before. Not just because of the new content, but because of how it interacts with the old content. It's a great live service beat when you can achieve that kind of a design outcome. Truly. Oh, so good. I'm going to make that green turn into brown or orange or whatever. Color coding is kind of weird to me, but it is a game made in another country besides the one that I grew up in, North America. So, hey, what are you going to do? Maybe that color combo makes sense to them. Okay. Let's see if I can level anything up. Okay, so I want Professor of Curvature big time. And I can't afford the first part to get to that, so I'll just wait. And hopefully I can get a win here. I feel like she might be a bit underpowered. Latent pace. So I find that for pace, you'll want to choose that, all things being equal, other than the raw count of other racers in those positions. So the front one, you would want to just be competing with 1 or 2. So that number should say 0 or 1. And for the end, same thing. For late, maybe you'll want half as many of people who are in the pace. So I do believe all of that is important. A lot of rich interactions in the race and in the simulation of the race that depend on those ratios I just mentioned. So in this case, it's pretty clear I should go with pace because there's too many people in the late position, which should be basically, if you pick it, half or less of the pace. So a lot of this might just be arbitrary. And you know the way that baseball pitchers, they have these weird rituals and they will say jump over a line instead of step on it. If they step on a line, they'll have a terrible game or get injured or the team will lose. That kind of ritualistic thinking with games like this that are kind of got some stochasticity to them, pretty easy to slip into. So I'm aware that that could just be a bunch of noise and not real, and I'm overinterpreting it. But after a while, the fuzzy math of it becomes somewhat clear, I think. Others might not have that same experience as me, though. Don't know. Okay. Okay, so the reason I'll pick this one, oh boy, yeah, the reason I'll pick this one is because the trainer at the top, if you look at the one with the heart, it's kind of hard to see up in the corner. I really wonder if you can see that on the stream. Hold on. I don't think you can. You know what? Oh, yeah, you can. You can. My bad. Totally can. So, I have to get this off screen. It's very distracting. Okay, yeah, so this character with the orange hair at the top, she is green, and she wants to move into this final color, which gives her the ability to light up the way this character is right now. You want all of your characters to be capable of doing that because you get huge gains in points. So at this point, I'm still kind of early in the career. I think I'm in the first season. Am I? Am I in the first season? I think I'm in the first season, and so I'm still busy trying to max out all of my training so that anytime the training opportunities come up, they're as good as they could be. So that's why I would pick the way that I did the last time instead of the other, which might have given me more points overall, but not in the long run. Okay, so my chances of failure are reasonably high, and the benefit of the risk is definitely, yeah, it's outweighed. No, it's not outweighed by the good. So yeah, the risk is too great. That 15%, I don't know. I feel like under the hood, they're lying with those numbers. Like, that is way more likely to fail. 85 out of 100 times, that would be fine, right? No, not in this game. I don't think so. And that's from having played it a lot. Again, could be ritualistic thinking, but I think that's part of the draw of the game, right? Trying to suss it out and feel the patterns. In fact, that's kind of the way this creative problem solving in gaming at large is, in terms of its draw for people like me at large. So yeah, it's really the reason that we play these games. We like to solve the problems. And so I like the fuzzy math of this stuff, figuring out what to do. It's fun. And then at the end of the day, in the short run, things can just not go the way that you want them to. So trying to feel out the pattern over a longer period is kind of fun if you're a quantitative reasoner. Even if you're not, it's kind of fun. So that's the draw of this kind of mechanic, I think. The risk reward's really strong. Can be. When it really matters is with when the benefit is particularly huge, but the risk is kind of great. That's where it's really rich. Like the anticipation, right? What happens to the dopamine before the attempt is it spikes like crazy, and that's where the addictive quality is in games like this. Like right before you try, not the success, but the possibility of the success before you try. And the greater the risk, the more kind of engagement there is there. So irony is, if you just give people wins all day long, they won't stay stuck on the game. You know, they want to become better at what they're doing. They want a sense of achievement. They want that progression increment feeling. So you can't design a game to be too easy. People will just like not enjoy it. And you can't, a game like this, people can't win all the time. They have to have really terrible outcomes now and then so that they can feel the realness of it. Okay. And Okay, I don't see any clear benefit. Let me just double check that there isn't a... Oh, look at the big chunky race. I wish I could get... maybe this will be something they add in the future for the product. And maybe they did this in Japan already, but I feel like it would be nice if I could flag for substantially important races. Like, one, I don't have a cup for it yet, or two, it's going to move the needle a lot for my fan base. So I wish I didn't have to go and hunt. I didn't have to go into the race screen every time to check that. I wish that I had some sort of flagging system outside of it to know to go into it. And it's entirely doable, right? Like, you could have the thing flash when there's an extra cause or benefit to go in. And yeah, I think that might be something they do in the future, or did in the past along the same timeline in Japan, and I just don't know about it yet. I would add that. Makes it a richer decision with less friction. So sometimes friction is a good thing, but I think when there's cognitive, like when you're expending energy cognitively to make an otherwise simple decision, that just surfacing the decision point a little bit sooner, you don't have to dig down every time. Good design. But again, the act of adding one more notification on top of a system just makes it more and more complicated and nebulous, noisy, mushy for new users. So it's the kind of thing that you add to a product over time when it's got a live service beat. Okay. Okay, so this is... okay, that's hopeless. I don't think that's going to work out for me. But here we go again. Okay. All circles should just smoke the entire field. That's what I think. Win. Win. These wins tend to come more like this as you get further along in the career, I found. It's like the accuracy of the reporting before you try the thing, the prediction stuff, gets tightened up, I think, over time. I think that games like this present information at the front in a way that keeps you more engaged, without necessarily honoring the truth of it. And they don't tell you that they're going to honor the truth of it. Right? They don't. It doesn't say anywhere that those numbers are absolutely not gamified and sweetened or poisoned in some way. Nothing indicates that anywhere. So I would expect that they played around with those numbers a bit under the hood, and then they report them in a slightly different fashion higher up, where the user experience is. But yes, the failures are more likely to happen earlier on, I think, in the design, and the catastrophic meltdowns and failures happen only a lot later when the chances are looking more and more like against you, but the rewards are higher. I think that's what I've noticed about the product. And I mean, good design is such that if you're going to have a horrible career experience, you give it to them up front, and then they'll quit. Versus give it to them at the very end and break their hearts after all kinds of effort has been put in. So the better design is to introduce a greater chance of failure earlier on, and then a lower chance of failure later on, so that the risk and reward tend to lean a little bit more into reward. Okay, this is a 14% chance. Yeah, I didn't fail. Okay. Well, nothing looks too good And I do need a bit of a rest. Let me just see if, do I have both of those cups? Do I have that one? And, okay. Yeah, I'll just rest. Take a little rest. All right, I'm going to take the chance. Let's go. 7% chance of failure. I mean, dude, 93 out of 100 times. This has been my experience. Now, oh, and I got the practice pour. Wow, I got the horrible treatment, top to bottom. At this point, I would seriously consider quitting. If in the previous step I got practice perfect, which is sort of like a consolation prize, it means that your practicing will be better from that point on, slightly better odds, then I would have been like, okay, I can accept it. That sucks, but it's all right. So at this point, I think, do I give up? Well, let me just see if they're going to shower me with, yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a big chunky benefit if it works. Now, I'm going to try, and if I fail again, that's 91% chance to succeed. The previous was, I definitely shouldn't have failed that one. And this one I shouldn't fail. Now, if I fail this, I quit. I hard quit. Goodbye. And I didn't fail. The reason you can tell is they hit you faster with the failure. Anytime there's a delay like that, maybe you can't even tell the delay, but I can, and certainly someone who plays this regularly can. The failure smacks you right after you click the try. So you click to try, and if you fail almost immediately. Anytime you don't get the immediate failure, you're not going to fail. So there's something really wonderful about extending the dopamine feel. And initially you don't notice this pattern. And so you just internalize that as you wait, the buildup favors you. So I think, again, this is brilliant social mobile design where the failure slaps you when it's a failure. You get it right away, ba-boom! And then if there's a success, it sort of gradually introduces itself. And when you suss out the difference, it feels great when you don't get that failure right away. Like you didn't pull a muscle when you're lifting a weight. You're like, oh yeah, this is going to be a good set. And my metaphor is terrible, but I think the idea is there. No, there's my professor of curvature. Oh yeah, there it is. Pacha. Now, if we take a quick peek at what I've got going on here, so look at that, practice pour, yay. But I have 2 level 2. Well, this says level 2. I'm really conflating my terms right now. But this and this are premium. Okay, they're worth probably 2 of those. That's probably about right. 2 of those. So basically I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5. I don't have 3, I have 5. I think that's probably a fair way of looking at it. Counting again. Okay. I will continue a little bit longer because I didn't have the failure. If I had that failure, man, I would have just done. I just would have smashed the give up button. So this optimizes for turf and long, and I apparently don't have, oh, my long is a C. If I look at predictions, it's going to be bad, hey? She could place well? Okay. Don't count on it. Don't count on it, brah. Don't count on it for a second. In these cases, I almost never see a win. I might see a second or a third, but I almost never get a first place, right? That's the shape of it. If you don't have both of the preconditions lit up as green, just honestly don't try unless you don't have a choice. Okay, where am I at? I'm about halfway through. Well, I'm going to call it for now. That was good fun. I call it for now. Goodbye.